Good morning. Good morning, Damon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Oh, it is afternoon.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to get started. I am Stacey Thomas. For anyone that doesn't know, this is the Stacey Thomas Unrestricted Unlimited Talk Show. Why Unrestricted Unlimited? Because you can't put me in a box. Never put me in a box. Have yet to see all that God has for me. And today I am excited. I am so freaking excited because I've been wanting to talk to this gentleman for a long time. Um, he is the creator of Men of Courage. He is the creator of this magnificent organization, and his name is Damon Thomas. Good afternoon again, Damon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me, Stacey.
So, Damon, you ready for all these questions that Stacey has?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay. So I always, Damon, before we even get into Men of Courage, I always like to let people know who the individual is that created it. Like, where did they come from? Where did this idea come from to even create an organization like this? Okay.
Okay.
Damon, how old were you? Well, when was Men of Courage created?
The vision came about 2010, 2011.
2010. So before the vision came to you, were you already an entrepreneur or were you doing something totally different?
I was not at the time. I was not during that time. I was in the midst of it, in the early stages of the entrepreneurship, but Minute Courage and other projects kind of took me into entrepreneurship. Yes.
So when this vision came, no time prior to that, did you even know you would do this?
No, not at all. Not at all.
No hint or anything.
No hint, nothing. There's nothing. Not at all.
Okay. So it was given to you and you decided to do it. Any fear, were you ever questioning, like, I don't know what your faith is, but did you question the higher power, God, or anyone, like, why me?
No, I didn't. First thing I thought about it was, as far as I wanted to help a lot of men, young boys all over the world. So, of course, a lot of prayer, a lot of prayer. This is something I didn't wake up overnight and say I need to do this. It took years and years of preparation, even now. But I had no idea I would be going into this lane of assisting young boys and men with trauma all over the world. I had no idea whatsoever. No.
No idea. So a lot of times when visions come to us, things later in life, it has something to do with our past sometime. And then sometime from talking to people, like especially thinking about myself, a vision comes out of nowhere, has nothing to do with us, and we just go with it. Is there anything about your past that you think is the reason this vision came to you?
Of course, there were a couple. I would say trauma. During this time, I was going through a lot of trauma at the time, and I was just tired of being that broken young man. So I wanted to do something about it, make a difference first for myself, to heal myself and go through the pain and suffering that I was going through at the time. Uh, and then I had to do the work. Like I said, I had to get myself fixed. I had to get educated, um, and basically trust in a small team, a large team actually, to put this thing together over the past 10 years. So I would say pain and trauma catapulted me into doing this project, Men of Courage.
Okay, so it was your pain.
Mhm.
Let me check this mic. It was your pain and trauma that you started thinking about. So now let's get to the team, because in reading about Men of Courage and in talking to you about Men of Courage, you are doing more than just one specific issue. So, Men of Courage, what is it?
Okay. Men of Courage is a program where a team of clinicians, global, assist young boys and young men. We start at age 6 years old up to 65. Um, and like I said, I decided to form this program to help young men who are afraid to talk about their trauma, the depression, the abuse, the domestic violence, substance abuse. So I said, you know what? Us men, we have to break the stigma. We have to get out of this element of we're broken or we have nowhere to turn for help. And then during that time when I was coming up as a young boy, there wasn't any resources, of course, besides our parents during that time, but no resources to help young boys and men um, to deal with their trauma. So that's where Men of Courage came about.
Okay. And the categories that your therapist cover are what again?
Sexual molestation, substance abuse, depression, anger management. We cover everything. Sexual orientation.
Okay.
There's nothing we haven't seen come across that we can do. So it's basically in a nutshell of trauma, what young boys and men go through.
Okay. So I'm not going to say that no one individual can have all those issues, but I'm going back again to which one, Damon, would you fall under? Which one did you pull? Can you relate to more?
Yes, but where I fall into this umbrella is at the time was the sexual molestation at a young age, and then went through domestic violence within a marriage, in my first marriage. So those two components took me to a higher level. Say, look, we need to make it. I need to make a difference. I didn't want to feel sorry for myself. I wanted to get the help that I needed to get help. And then once I felt comfortable with this, like I said, I then formed a team of doctors and therapists all over the world to assist me with this program.
Okay. Without getting into any deep detail, I want to make a point to people. When a man says that he's been sexually molested, it's not always by another man, correct?
That's correct.
So as a man, did you feel when this vision came to you and you wanted to draw on your own experiences, did you ever feel did you ever feel like you would be less of a man, or men shouldn't tell if a woman molests them? Makes a man, some men would think that would make me look weak.
Correct. Not at all. That never crossed my mind. I never blamed myself. I never said why me at all. I knew something had to be done about it. It never made me feel less of a man, less of a young boy at the time, 9 and 10 years old. Never did. I was always certain who I was and very confident in who Damon Thomas was. That was never an issue.
Okay. Now, you said domestic abuse.
Yes.
It takes a good man. Well, it takes a strong man to come out and say whether they were molested or domestically abused. And I'm assuming by a woman.
Yes.
Okay. Most men are not going to say that. Most men are either going to they're going to punch back, or they are just going to keep it to themselves and keep it moving. Do you think that's something that's going on a lot, women fighting men?
Definitely. And I do want to put this disclaimer out there. I also, on the fair side, I also deal with a lot of men who are abusing women as well. Although my Men of Courage program is geared towards, the domestic abuse with the men, also those men out there that are against their significant other, fighting a significant other, they come through our program as well for anger issues. Because at the end of the day, no one should be putting their hands on anyone, vice versa. So with that being said, that comes into play. There's a lot of anger issues with that young male. So we get to the root of the issue. What is going on here? Was it a generational curse? Did you witness this as a young boy and you carried it on to your adulthood? So I wanted to put that disclaimer out there. Yes, I do know there's a lot of abuse on each side, but for me personally, what I experienced it from a woman. And domestic violence come in all forms, as we know, emotional, physical, mental, and is a beast. And I've experienced all those components right there. So I was able to get out of it. It was very difficult because I loved my family. Looking back over the years, yes, I would have done something different, but I had to move forward and say, I know within my heart I made the right decision.
Okay, I'm glad you disclosed that it's not just for the men who have been abused themselves, because women watching will think, oh, I can't seek his help because it says Men of Courage. And abuse, and I know this isn't about domestic abuse, but I just want to touch on a couple of things, okay?
Okay.
When you say abuse, it's not just physical abuse, correct?
That's correct. That's correct.
Mental abuse.
Mental, emotional, verbal.
Okay. So a lot of times people they don't think about everything that falls up under one title.
No.
Someone's getting yelled at constantly and it's affecting their mental state. They don't think that that's abuse that other person should get help for.
And that's true. I mean, like I said, that emotional and that mental and verbal is at times can be just as bad as the physical.
Okay.
At the end of the day, is abuse.
Okay. What professionals, I don't need names, but because different people practice different things under medicine or therapy, what type of therapists do you have on your team?
I have all types actually, from anywhere from social work, to licensed clinicians, and each one of them carry their own specialty. Like you said, for example, as a physician, I may have someone who just deal with, the depression piece or the age from, let's say, from 6 to 10, 11 to 13 and to adults. So all of my clinicians that are on board with this program, they have their specialty across the board, from, like I said, from abuse to depression, mental illness. They all are special. They have a specialty in each of their own field.
Okay. And for the people watching, you are not servicing just one state, correct?
Correct. We are global.
So that means if you're on the East Coast and there's somebody on the West Coast and they need your services, they can call or email you?
Definitely. And that's the good thing about this program. I did not want to narrow it down to one area because, it's abuse all over the world. So why limit? And that's what sets us apart from other programs. We're global. So for instance, if I get a submission from a young man that's, say, in Dallas, Texas, I have to be ready and be in a position to make sure that young man, once he submit his story through the website, to make sure services are set up in his city.
Okay.
At no cost.
Did you say at no cost, Damon?
At no cost. Yes.
So you're saying to me that an individual could submit a story to you and they really need help. They haven't seen a doctor because they have no insurance. They can't talk to family. They have nobody they can borrow the money from. They could contact you and get help.
Exactly. And that was another thing. I didn't want these men to have any in mind that, okay, first of all, everyone knows men don't want to talk about these issues.
Okay.
As a young boy, we're geared to be strong, man up, suck it up. It's that fear factor, number one. Number two, there's shame. And number three, the finances. At the end of the day, you have a lot of young boys and men out there who want the help, but they don't have the finances. So I wanted this program, again, to be one of the programs to where it's up to you to do the work, submit your story, be honest with us. We're going to get you the help no matter which city you live in. We're all over. We're over in London.
Wow.
So we're all over. I have clinicians all over the world. It's not a limitation here. And like you said, you made a good point, with no insurance. We take clients who have no insurance. That's not an issue at all. It's never been about the money for my program. It's always been about results. Okay. And that's what I live in.
All right. And in watching you and speaking to you over the years, Damon, I've just been amazed at your drive and your motivation. I've been amazed at your heart, hearing you speak about how you want to help other people. Sometimes when a vision comes to us, we will take that vision, especially like yourself, if you have your own story, and we'll travel the country, travel the world speaking. What made you, or maybe the vision came to you like this, what made you bring a team when you could have done it yourself?
Well, and that's the thing. Something of this magnitude is not about Damon Thomas. There's never a one-man show with me, no matter what I'm working on. It takes a team to do this. This is some serious stuff. These young boys and men all over the world, they're trusting us with their lives. So I knew to do a program such as this, it had to be a team involved of professional, licensed clinicians that can take care of these young boys and men.
Wow. What do you, so we have the domestic abuse, the alcohol abuse, drug abuse,
substance abuse and alcohol,
substance abuse, sexual orientation.
Yes.
I have to ask this because, when I found out about the program, I immediately wanted to know, wait a minute, Damon, are you going around trying to change people? Are you telling people they're wrong? And you corrected me. So for those that are watching, when they see sexual orientation or sexual identity, what therapy do you offer as far as that, Damon?
When submissions come through our website for a young man who has submitted a story that is dealing with sexual orientation, and it's a good question. It's not that our goal is to change that individual, change their sexual orientation. That's not what it stands for. What we do is, if that's your lifestyle, that's your lifestyle. What we do is we assist you in making healthy and positive decisions while in that relationship. That's your relationship. You have to own up to it. So when you're reaching out, that you're in that type of relationship, we're not here to change you. That's not what my program is about. We're here to help you make positive and healthier decisions while in that relationship.
Okay.
Without judgment. Without judgment.
No judgment.
No judgment.
I like that. I like that. I like your passion. I like the fact that the other therapists have a passion to help people. I like it even more because it's free. Okay. Where does the support come from? If somebody was watching this video and they decided that they want to, do you take donations?
Definitely. Yes. It takes a village to keep this program going, because at the end of the day, it is free, and all the co-pays for the young boys and men, they are taken care of. So it takes a team, and it takes a lot of sponsorship to keep this thing running.
Okay. And anyone that wanted to make a donation, they're going to call the number that's on the screen or email at the same email address?
Yes.
Okay.
And we have financial options. I don't know if you wanted to get into that, but they can go ahead and, if you wanted to.
Yes.
I mean, they can go through the email, they can contact the number that's listed, or we can also, I guess, attach it at the end, or whatever you feel is those best. That's not a problem.
Damon, you're on this platform. Whatever information you have, feel free to speak about it.
All right. Well, those who are watching, like I said earlier in the interview, it takes a village to do this. If you're interested in sponsoring, donating, we would greatly appreciate your support. You can do it at Zelle at menofcourageshow@gmail.com. Also, if you want to do Cash App, it's $Courage Men. That's $Courage COURAGEMEN. Those are the ways you can donate and sponsor. And that's the number that's listed at the bottom of the screen. If you have any questions about the program, we do have a website to where you can submit your story. And that's www.menofcourageshow.com. Again, www.menofcourageshow.com. That's where you submit your story about your life, what is going on, or what type of help you need. That's the first step, is submitting your story. And then all the submissions come directly to me. And then what I do is I sit down with my team of clinicians, and we sit down and I decipher what clinician will be teamed up with that young man. Okay. That's how it is.
Wow. You've got something great going on. And I know for a fact people are already reaching out to you. You're really growing. I'm looking forward to seeing you all over the news one day, promoting Men of Courage. Do you have any, well, I know we're going through the coronavirus situation. Afterwards, will you be traveling anywhere or doing anything as far as speaking engagements?
Yes. As soon as this dilemma that we're going through is over, we originally had a 15-city tour already in the works before the virus took over the world. We had a 15-city tour. Once it's over, we're going to pick up that month, wherever month this thing is lifted. We'll start off in that city. But as of right now, we'll be going into 2021 because of the virus changing the schedule. But we're going to be back on the road traveling with Men of Courage to hitting 15 cities. And I want to let the young boys and men know, anybody that's watching also, being as though you cannot, leave your home and we under strict guidelines. My team, we are also doing counseling through virtual. Okay, and everything is confidential. You are protected. You don't have to leave your home. Even when before the virus came, I had it in my program where all of my team members, they're licensed to do the virtual online with any client that I approve.
Okay. Damon, do you ever, your team, ever work with couples?
You know what? We've never had a couple yet. That's a good question. Never had a couple. It's always been single. We do get a lot of calls from wives calling that their significant other need help. They was afraid to reach out, so their spouse reached out and they expressed that, I never knew my husband was struggling with sexual abuse. I never knew he was struggling with depression. He needs help. So you won't be surprised the calls we get from wives about their spouses.
Okay.
Although it's Men of Courage program, I want to put this out there. I have 3 young ladies that's going through the program right now for therapy. So is it case by case with the female? So it takes a lot for me to say no, even though it's a Men of Courage program. If I see a female that's struggling and really serious and really need this program, submit their story. Like I said, I truly don't like to turn anybody down that's really serious about this.
So sounds like one day we might want to jump on this. We're gonna have a Women of Courage thing up under Damon Thomas, huh?
Yeah, maybe so. That at the rate it's going, yes. At the rate it's going.
And Damon, from talking to me, sometimes I have a question based on something else you brought up, right?
Right.
So if someone calls about their significant other, because, and I think you mentioned earlier, some people won't seek counseling. So if I called you about, I say lover, and I needed help, I'm calling you. How can you help me? Are you gonna email him? How do I get help?
Okay, so if you're calling about your significant other, that your significant other needs help.
Okay.
How does he get help?
Yeah.
How does he get help? Well, if you're placing the call, of course you're going to be asked a series of questions about your significant other. Then at that point, of course, we're going to need to speak with your significant other, because just because you're calling in, that doesn't mean he wants to help. You have to be ready. You have to really want this. And like I said, this is nothing to play around with. It's some serious stuff that we do here at the Men of Courage program, because we have to get you in a better place. We have to change the trajectory to a positive lifestyle for you. A situation, whatever bad situation, we want to kind of turn it into a good situation for you. So you have to want it. I would say we have a 98% success rate. What that means is 98% of the people that submit their stories, we help. So when they submit, they be serious, they be ready to go, we help them. That's that 2% out there that you have no control over. They may start the program and they may say, whoa, this is nothing to play with. Yeah, you have to do the homework. We're not gonna come to your house and knock on your door. We're not gonna put you in a car. We're not gonna bring you into the office. You have to want this. If we're gonna provide these service on a professional level and there's no charge for you, you have to do the work. You have to really want this. Because what I don't do is I don't have anybody waste our time, because we have more than enough cases that we do on a daily basis. And there's a lot of people out there who need help. So why are we going to spend time on an individual that's wasting our time? Now, don't get me wrong. You made that 2% really may have wanted this program. But once they got started, like, oh, maybe I'm not ready for this. I'm gonna have to call you back. I thought I was ready. You come in for 2 visits, then you say, whoa, I'm gonna have to call you. I'm not, I thought I was ready. And we're not going to push you. If you're not ready, you're not ready. And that's it.
Okay. So before I give you the chance to tell what you want to tell that I may have missed out on, I want to ask you, for those that are watching, Damon, you have people that know they need help, they want help. You've said that you'd keep it quiet, but it's something else going on with them. They were told they don't need a counselor. People are sitting there watching you saying, my spouse needs help. What can I say to them? What do you say to people that have a mentality, not even a mentality, but they're ashamed, so they won't reach out?
Okay, that's a good question. And Men of Courage also is a program where we're your protector. We from the start of the conversation, after you submit your story, we automatically we place that safety net around you. We are reassuring you that we're here for the better view. We're here to get you to a better place. It's okay to be ashamed and be afraid, but now it's time to make a change. Okay. We're not going to judge you. That's why you submit your story. You need help. This is what we're here for. So I tell these young men again, yes, it's difficult to reach out because we men, we have to break that stigma. We're human. We cry, we hurt every day as well. So, and I tell people, the longer you wait to get therapy, the harder it is, because you have so much that you have embedded in your system that you have kept since day one, since you was a child, and now you're a grown man. It's hard. It's not impossible, but I encourage these young men all over the world, hey, make a difference. I challenge these young men, because I believe if you're struggling with any depression, substance abuse, anger issues, and you're not doing anything about it, you cannot be an effective role model. You can't be effective to your significant other. How are you going to be an awesome parent to be there for your child or children if you can't take the responsibility of making a difference in your own life, of getting help?
Okay. And I'm going to add something to that. I want the people watching to understand. I believe in prayer. I do believe in prayer. But there are people like Damon Thomas here, his team, therapists, psychiatrists, doctors. We've been blessed to have them here, and we can pray and we can do our part. We're not saying that prayer doesn't work. I don't know if Damon will agree with me, but nothing's wrong with prayer and therapy. So for me, Damon, I try to stress to people, there's a reason Damon Thomas is here. There's a reason he has the organization that he has. So I'm going to pray for this relationship, pray for this man that continues to beat me, not saying I'll stay, Damon.
Right.
But pray for this alcohol problem I may have. And at the same time, I'm going to seek some professional help to add to it to help me get through this. You know?
Yeah.
So, and I just wanted to put that out there because, like I said, nothing's wrong with prayer, but folks, he's here. He has a free service. He has a team of therapists. They travel. He's up for speaking engagements if you need him to come to your church, to your group. Damon.
And that's important. I'm glad you brought that about the prayer piece, because even on a tour, when we continue to tour, there's a lot of pastors that have booked us to come to their church and lay down the foundation for about the Men of Courage program. But I talk to pastors all the time, and I do want to say this. I want to be very clear. Again, I agree with you 100%. There's nothing wrong with prayer. I think from my experience, from what I've seen over many, many years, and I tell these pastors, we have to continue praying. But the major component that everyone's been missing is the clinical piece. And like you said, why can't we have prayer and get the therapy? Okay. And that's the thing. I had to tell a lot of pastors, look, Men of Courage is not here to take over your ministry. We're here to come in and help. We can still pray while we come in and do Men of Courage, but you're missing the clinical side. I have a lot of pastors call me and say, look, I had 3 young men commit suicide in the past couple of months. Okay, so the prayer is going on there, but you guys are missing the clinical piece. And that's very important.
Wow.
Which one without the other? And that's why we have this major dilemma. One of the main reasons is because the clinical piece is missing. We can pray all day long, and I pray every day. But if I need help, I need to reach out for the clinical piece and have both as a guidance for me.
Okay. Wow. I thank you for even replying to my statement. That's very interesting. So there's someone, Damon. They're saying great information. And can you say again where donations can be met?
Yes. Through Zelle, which is menofcourageshow@gmail.com. Also Google Pay, menofcourageshow@gmail.com. Cash App, $ Courage, CORUAGEMEN.
Okay, and if you find the time, busy man, because I know you're busy down there, could you send me the links or either go back up under here and post the links?
Yes, I
You
most
can do
certainly will.
that.
I will.
Okay. I think we covered everything, Damon. Did I miss out on any important information? Like, what do you have coming up? What do you want people to check out?
Okay. Like I said, once this virus is lifted, we will be back out on the road, hitting a 15-city tour, bringing the tour to a city near you. If you're interested or you know an organization that may be interested in bringing the Men of Courage program to your city, you can email us at the email that's on the screen, the Men of Courage Show at gmail.com, or you can contact us at the number that's listed. There will be more speaking engagements as well once the the lift is up. More writing, more directing, more filming. I based all my directing and my filming basically around trauma. That's all I know. That's my high for me. This trauma and getting these men back to where they need to be. That's when I smile and I'm happy. That's when my team, we're glorified, is when we see a client come in and months down the road, boom, they've made it. And the biggest thing is for these men, I tell them, it's not about just getting therapy and getting yourself to a better place, but I also take some of these young men on the road because they can be an inspiration to your other young men. So you have come through the Men of Courage program. You have fulfilled all your obligations as far as therapy. We take a look at it and see, are you ready to travel with us? Because we want you to come and be a speaker of telling your testimony, what you've been through. So it's see how everything is a domino effect. It's not a one component for Men of Courage. You know, these men is like a stepping stone for them. They come through for therapy, they do their job, and then they out doing speak engagements and sitting down with men in groups and letting them know where they were at. And you can get through this. You can make it.
See, you're doing great things. Nothing's better, Stacy's opinion, than speaking to someone about a problem and they can relate.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing better than speaking to Damon about domestic abuse,
Mm-hmm.
child molestation, because Damon has an idea of what I'm going through.
Mm-hmm.
You have created an awesome team, I wasn't going to say anything about the directing or the filming or the writing. You brought that up.
Yes.
So before we end, let people know what you got going, the man himself.
Yes. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna be doing more filming once this lift is over. Like I said, the subject matters we covered, as far as filming is trauma, real stuff that young men and women go through. You know, we show real stuff on camera of abuse, you know, of the molestation, of the substance abuse, not just the therapy piece, but I want you guys to also see behind the scenes, in front of the cameras, what men and young ladies actually go through, and we capture that on film. So that's my thing when it comes to filming. I'm all about, let's cover trauma scenarios. Okay.
And there are some Men of Courage show, correct me if I'm wrong. If they go to the Men of Courage show on Facebook, they will see some of the short films you have created that come under the Men of Courage, right?
That is correct. That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Damon Thomas.
Yes.
I thank you.
Appreciate you.
I am wishing you and your team the very best.
Thank you.
And I do hope when I see you on all the major channels,
yes,
and your group has grown, that you'll come back and speak to I Am STACEY Thomas.
Most definitely. Thank you for the invite. Thank you for all your support through the years, and definitely, and like I said, we'll get down to your area as well once this lifted. We got to come down there, and we got some work to do as well.
Oh, that's right. Thank you, Damon.
Okay, and I appreciate everyone for watching and being supportive. Like I said, it takes a village for this to do this, and I encourage other organizations, other programs that is doing something similar to what Men of Courage is doing. Hey, reach out to us. Hey, let's talk about it. I'm not that individual where I'm closed-minded and say no, this is about Men of Courage only. If there's a decent organization or program out there of decent people, because we want to deal with decent and genuine people that really has a passion for this, hey, I encourage you to reach out to us. Let's talk about it. Let's see where we can do as a team, as a collaboration. Because at the end of the day, it takes a village to do this.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Have a great day, Damon.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hey. Thank you for watching the Stacey Thomas Unrestricted Unlimited Show. For those that don't know me, because I see new people all the time, I say unrestricted unlimited because I have yet to see what God has for me. So that allows me to cover different subjects, different talking to people. If you're interested in advertising or sponsoring my show as we grow, hit me up at iamstaceythomas@gmail.com. The number is strolling across the screen. If you want to talk to me, I'm available. In the meantime, don't stress too much about yesterday or worry too much about tomorrow. If you do, even in the midst of all this stuff, you just might miss living today.